run through the tape. In life, never give up, run through the tape.
Now let's send it to Ernie Johnson in Atlanta.
All right, the Clippers now one win away from their first ever trip to the conference finals.
Their first?
First ever in the franchise history.
Wow.
They're up 3-1 after a 128
It's amazing when you start paying the right players.
to 95 victory.
You know
over
how
the Houston Rockets.
You know how good that Houston defense would be if Clippers could shoot free throws? Yeah, about 150 points a game.
128-95. Shaq is here. Charles is here. Kenny is here. And we're all going to be here
D, boy.
momentarily with Inside, presented by Kia. It is Inside the NBA, presented by Kia, live from Studio J in Atlanta. Ernie Johnson, Charles Barkley, Kenny the Jet Smith, and Shaquille O'Neal. Here's what's happening Monday night. Hit the air at 7 o'clock.
Big game.
The number one seeds in each conference, both trailing. The Hawks down 2-1 against the Wiz, and the Warriors down 2-1 to the Grizz. And we'll have that doubleheader for you tomorrow night, followed by Inside the NBA. All right, here we go. Highlights: Houston and the Clippers. And this game 4 in a 2-1 series with the Clips leading, and right away, Dwight Howard not happy, and Dwight Howard gets an early tee.
Tell you what, he got lucky here and putting his hands on the official. He got lucky.
Well, the official put his hands on him first.
No, not right. No, he didn't.
Yeah, he was putting his hands on him.
No, he didn't.
He was trying to put his hands on him, and again, he should put his hands on him. He didn't.
A minor point. Chris Paul.
Oh. Tell you what, boy.
15 and 12 for CP3. Here comes the hack. The hack strategy.
Get some music, Kenny. Shaq, I'm going to have to disagree with you. I think the hack of Jordan worked.
In what way?
Well, they would have won by 50 if he had made it a free throw.
No, you know what the real reason is? You can't hack a Jordan when you got 3 or 4 guys that can't shoot either. So what happens is that when you have the ball on offense, you got this guy underneath the basket, Josh Smith, guys who can't score in the game. So you don't have an advantage.
Oh, you saw Trevor Ariza. And so Houston on top at this point, 37-35 an hour. Now they're not ahead anymore because
Great defense by the Rockets. Jimmy Smith turning over.
Jamal Crawford knocks that one down.
Jim Peterson turning over in his grave.
Austin Rivers.
Like Curly Neal on that one.
Yeah. Rich Petruska is rolling over.
Oh, I know what that's going to happen was. Oh, happened.
How about what's Matt Maloney doing?
Oh, Matt Maloney's rolling over in his grave.
That's called a rim check.
Tim Rose rolling over in his grave right now.
Tracy Murray rolling over in his grave.
Tracy Murray in there.
Good one right there.
Tracy Murray shout out.
Nice reach right there.
Yeah. I was going to go with the...
Mario Elliott rolling over in his grave.
Oh, no, that's not a reach, though. You got to have guys with...
Yeah, you're right. I should...
Granville Waiters.
I better leave Mario Elliott alone.
Clippers 60-54 at the half.
I was always worried about him coming in and shooting up the locker room.
By the way,
That's why I love playing.
oh my goodness, DeAndre Jordan, by the way, setting a record with 28.
I love you, Mario. Yeah. I was just joking. It was a joke.
Look at the DeAndre Jordan show here in the third quarter.
That's why
Ernie, remember what I said to you?
That's why you got to foul me.
Ernie, you remember what I said to you before the game? That's the biggest problem. They ain't got but one. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
They ain't got but one shot blocker, and every time White comes up, that's open all night.
It was a 29-7 Clipper run, and that picture kind of tells the story on the Houston side of things. And then Blake Griffin.
Why don't you kiss him next time? That was a little baby kiss.
And Blake very concerned about
Well, he shouldn't be
our cameraman underneath the basket.
Get out the way.
Second technical for D. Howard. And man alive, mercifully this one ends 128-95. The Clippers with a 3-1 lead in the series. They've scored 117, 109, 124, and now 128.
Yeah, thanks to you telling what great defensive team they were.
So somehow this is getting laid at my doorstep.
Because when you bragging about their defense
I wasn't
last
bragging
week?
about their defense. I was just saying the analysis, the statistical analysis, the analytics.
That's wrong.
Showing them as the number 6 in defensive efficiency in the regular season, which has not carried over into this series.
Well, if they were that
Coors
good.
Light, cold, hard facts.
Hey, Ernie,
facts,
just
man.
because you're the best looking guy up here out of 4 doesn't mean you're good looking.
Thank you, Ernie.
So it's just because you a good number 6 does not mean you play deep. And that's the same thing. It's the margin of error is just too much.
Yeah, so you see the difference in the San Antonio and the Houston series.
Why do you have your
for the
belt out,
Clippers.
Shaq?
Because the Rockets got that ass whooped tonight. Exactly what it was. Ernie. You don't even have to. Ernie, I gotta tell you to get back on defense. Didn't I tell you to rotate? Ernie, I will tell you this one thing.
Tell me this.
Sometimes the team just beat you. And Reggie had one of his 3 things for the Rockets to get back in this series. The Rockets have not competed at all this series, going back to game 1. And they came out the same way in game 2, and they've obviously gotten mauled the last few games. But that's probably been the most disappointing thing for me. They have not competed at all.
I agree. And then the lack of competition and effort, on the defensive end, which you saw in the Dallas series, honestly. But the biggest thing is, and I keep hitting this dead horse, but when you go to a hack of anything, because the Rockets have 3 guys in Dwight Howard, Josh Smith, that can't put in the game at the same time either. So all of a sudden, you foul Jordan, but you have in the game Capella, Prigioni, and Kostas. So even when you get the ball, you can't score. So if you're Golden State did it, let's say, or like when San Antonio did it, they still have their 5 core guys who can put the ball in the basket. So you have a percentage lead against it. But when you have playing Hacker Jordan and you can't score because you can't put your best 5 guys on the floor because they get fouled as well, it doesn't work that way. So I agree with that.
Let me see your stat sheet here. We just want to check the number of free throws that the Clippers shot tonight.
They shot way too
37 for 63.
That's a lot.
63
I just got a question for you, Kenny. Have you ever beat a dead horse?
Yes, that means that you're doing something you shouldn't do. That's the analogy. You're doing something that you shouldn't do. If the horse is alive, you beat it to move. But if you can, like I'm talking about something that maybe should just let it go and not talk about.
You should let that one go.
Okay.
Beat a dead horse.
Okay, but understand the analogy, man. Just understand. Okay, it's not you're beating a dead horse.
Auburn University education right there.
Okay, take me back to the Houston drawing board now for Game 5 in your gym.
Well, one, they got to have better concentration, better defensive effort. I mean, their front line can't guard anybody. Their guards are terrible. That's why DeAndre Jordan getting these easy lob dunks. Like he's not even really part of the offense, but he's getting 6, 7, 8 points on lob because defense can't guard people, and they just got to come out and just play. I know you bleeped out those analytical stats, but these guys are awful.
I have a question for you.
How about 26?
No, but I have one for you.
26 and 17 for Jordan
no
tonight.
fight.
14 out of 34 from
I have a
line.
question for you.
You have a question for me?
Yes. If you're guarding the Clippers, what would you do?
Guarding the Clippers?
Yeah, you're good. You're the coach now. What would you do?
I would. No.
Okay. What would you do on pick and roll situations with DeAndre Jordan?
Trap it.
Yeah, I mean.
You did, that's my point. You have to still.
Chris Paul's got to be the guy that you got to cut off the head of the snake.
Yeah, but
I would have said that scouting report was
if you
there.
double Chris Paul, DeAndre Jordan, if you're throwing the ball, he's not going to do anything.
I'm sure Kevin McHale had those things on the board. But it comes to a point where you have to follow them. And I don't think the Rockets are following a game. I cannot imagine that if you said that in 5 seconds, we're going to pressure Chris Paul. I thought of it. He thinks it. And then you don't do it. Someone has to carry out the game plan that you put down.
And Kenny has a great point because, Ernie, there's a certain thing called humiliation and embarrassment. And
saw them both tonight.
No, but I'm saying, if if I'm Kevin McHale, I said, guys, we're giving up 120 points a game. In one game, you make a stand. Now, you might resort back to your old bad defensive ways, but just getting called out and getting humiliated, giving up 120 points a game, your professional pride should kick in and says, guys, we're giving up 120 points. But they're getting worse. They're giving up more points. So that tells me they aren't competing this series. And it started in game one. After they had a week off, and they came in and they did not compete. And then even in game two, they could have lost game two.
115-109 was the win for the Rockets in game two, but they have not come close in games 3 or 4. That is... I think that horse is still with us.
He's still alive.
So I kind of tough to tell from that angle.
Yeah, Alex.
They just turned the camera silent.
When we come back, a polar opposite of the game you just watched was game 4 today in Chicago.
Bang, bang.
Highlights coming up. Love me some starters, don't you, Chuck?
I love my guys from Toronto, Canada.
Eats and Tass. And
Chuck just went to Toronto.
Great stuff. And you can check them out on NBA TV weeknights.
Tell you what I was doing next week.
All right. One of my favorite descriptions of playoff basketball comes from Pat Riley, who said it's one of two things, winning or misery. The Cavs experienced the misery part on Friday night when Derrick Rose banked in the game winner at the horn. LeBron James described it as heartbreaking. Well, Sunday afternoon in Chicago, LeBron and company enjoyed the other side of that Riley spectrum in what was a mother of a playoff game. We take you to United Center, 2-1 series, game 4. There's Derrick Rose, fresh from the game winner. And Pau Gasol, bad hammy, would not play.
That was a game changer right there.
Cleveland turning it over early. LeBron's turned it over a bunch in this series. And Derrick Rose goes all the way.
Well, the reason is he has to be overly aggressive because Kyrie Irving obviously is not moving or scoring at the same pace. No Kevin Love. So you have to give up. I remember the year Magic led the league in assists. He led it in turnovers that year as well. So he's making more plays than he probably has to.
D. Rose.
Oh, my goodness.
Check this out on the replay.
Ooh, that's just beautiful, Ernie. That's just beautiful.
16-13 Bulls at that point. Final seconds of the quarter, LeBron.
Just making more plays.
That guy, God gave that guy everything.
28-26.
Except
Bulls.
Full head of hair.
Oh, gee, you're just making it way too easy for him, Jet. Way too easy.
I just said it. I didn't know what he said.
Way too easy.
We're going to use it every game now.
Okay, here comes a 7-minute scoreless stretch for the Bulls.
My gosh. Close the door. The wind's blowing.
All those jump shots are contested, Ernie. They really missed Pau Gasol today.
Meantime, 16-0 run for the Cavs.
And then I'm getting in the paint.
Oh, bully ball.
I'm getting right in the paint.
So they got they built an 8-point lead with that 16-0 run and trying to take an 8-point lead. Trying to take an 8-point lead into halftime.
Tristan Thompson made a lot of money this year to become a free agent.
So they got a chance with this possession to maybe build the lead to 8, but off Kendrick's noggin and Jimmy Butler going the other way. So it's a 4-point game at the half. We go to the third. And in the third, Chicago outscores Cleveland 23-12. Rose for 3 there, and then this would start him on a 13-0 run as Taj Gibson takes whatever this was that Noah put off the glass.
I think that was a pass.
That's a shot.
That's a shot.
Dude, I'm telling you, that was a pass.
He did not
Look
look
how high he
anywhere.
threw that ball.
Exactly. That's what makes it. That's what made it a bad shot. How high he threw it.
Y'all know Noah's one of my favorite players. I think that was a pass.
I do not think he's one of my favorites.
Rose taking the charge from LeBron, who stepped on Rose and turned the left ankle in the process.
Tell you what, that was just great defense by Derrick Rose. Great hustle by Jimmy Butler also to make him not be able to veer.
I feel bad for them sneakers. Because that's the only thing that got hurt. He didn't get hurt. The sneaker gets hurt.
LeBron misses from in close.
$50 million. Yeah, we can get him some new shoes.
And misses from deep. 2 for 19 in the series from three-point land. 68-61 Chicago after 3. Enter J.R. Smith.
That's what he was brought there for. He got really hot in the fourth quarter, Ernie.
And you know, they were staying hip to hip to him. He just knocked down some tough shots, man.
They outscored the Bulls 25-16 in the fourth quarter.
Jersey.
He was terrific.
So the Cavs would build the lead to 80-73, and Chicago comes back at him. Here's Rose, who had 31 on the afternoon, and now it's 80-77. It was 82-79 when LeBron gets whistled for the charge as Noah draws it.
That's a good call.
That's a good call.
That's a
Shaq,
good
that's a
call.
good call. That's something.
You made a big noise over there. 84-79, under a minute to play. Butler,
right there.
2-point game. Now Cleveland had struggled to get the ball in bounds and call them timeout, and they get it to LeBron.
This one, he should have just threw it right to Dellavedova, threw it right across court to James Jones, but he tried to keep it thinking they were going to foul him. An offensive foul going the other way.
That's a good call. Shaq, you can't. They got a new.
All they got to do is throw it across the
Shaq, they got a new. You just can't elbow people in the face. They just put it in for this game.
You put your face near, you deserve to get elbowed.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, my God. Now put your face by my elbow. Watch what I do to you on that.
D. Rose ties the game at 84.
give me a charge.
And here's what you watch here with no timeouts left.
Timeout.
for Cleveland.
Timeout.
David Blatt was trying to call a timeout, which we'll show you in a second. Meantime, was that a foul on
Yes,
Noah?
it was a
There was
foul.
contact. Ball goes out of bounds. Here's David Blatt. No timeouts, remember, and he's signaling for a timeout. Tyronn Lue and other assistant coaches say, hey,
that's their job.
This is not what we want.
That's their job.
This is not what we want.
They did their job.
And
Good
fortunately
job.
for them,
They
the
got
officiating
very
crew
lucky.
didn't see it. Yeah.
I mean, well, listen, the officials do a good job, but they missed that.
That's a game-winning play.
But I'm glad they didn't call a foul right there, and I don't want the officials deciding the game.
They did review just to see how much time should be on the clock, and so from 0.8 it goes to 1.5, and LeBron didn't need all of that.
Bam! That's just a great shot. Shake his hand.
So James, who had the offensive fouls and the turnovers that, as it turns out, says, look, game's in my hands, and he cashes in, and the Cavs tie the series at 2 games apiece in what was a beauty of an NBA playoff game. 86-84 was the final. LeBron goes for 25, 14 and 8, 30 shots he took, 1 out of 7 from deep. J.R. Smith with those 13 points, those 3 threes in the fourth quarter were huge. Rose 31, Butler 19, the only guys in doubles for the Bulls, and now they go to Cleveland for Game 5 on Tuesday. Here's what they were saying afterwards.
I don't think there's any stealing going on anywhere. I don't think we steal from them, and I don't think they steal from us. I think they're games that are hard fought that you got to win. You win games and you lose games.
Were you trying to call a timeout there?
Yeah, I almost blew it.
So they
To be
didn't
honest
see
with
you.
you, good thing I almost. I think we called 2 or 3 timeouts there on that sideline out, and good thing they caught it. My guys.
And did you feel like did you gain a little bit of an advantage when the refs were looking at the video that you were able to talk about the play before LeBron hit it?
Not only that, I think we probably gained another 0.7 seconds on the clock, which was more significant.
To be honest, the play that was drawn up, I scratched it. And I just told Coach, just give me the ball. And, we either going to go in overtime or I'm going to win it for us.
LeBron drew up that play. He took control there.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, he wanted the ball, he called for it, and that's what, as he should. Especially he got it going, need to make a play. That's what he did.
It's very important when you lose on the last shot. I mean, there's nothing you could do about it. He hit a great shot. He's a hell of a player, and you just got to make sure that if we're in that position again, just make sure that we force them out a little bit more or make someone else get the ball.
In the moment, it's an unreal feeling. I can't really explain it. And the first thing I wanted to do was go greet my teammates. And they greeted me a lot tougher than I wanted to greet them. I almost got another injury, between Double T snagging my neck and JR pulling me to the ground. But I wanted to greet them. It was for those guys, and that's all that matters. To be able to hit a shot like them for them, it means the world to me.
Never Stop, Never Settle, presented by Hennessy. Timothy Mozgov, J.R. Smith with contributions in the fourth
Timothy
quarter.
Mozgov was huge.
And
what?
With 6 points?
He played well.
In the fourth quarter.
I'll tell you the guy who's played great for them is Tristan Thompson.
He has. Yeah.
I want to make a point, though, Ernie.
Make a point.
Jeff Van Gundy and Mark Jackson do a terrific job on the game, but they had a great point today. I think the refs screwed the Bulls, giving them a free timeout because they had no timeouts.
Yeah.
And when those officials went to look at that replay, the Bulls drew up that the Cavaliers drew up that play.
What do you do about that now, though? I mean, if the situation will come
you make
up
the
again.
guys stay on the court.
Okay,
there's always a way around everything.
But I'm saying they can't go over there and draw up a play, Kenny.
I mean, you could say everybody have to stay in the center of the court, and then then all of a sudden, you do the hand signal.
Then you'll be looking at the third base coach to say, okay, this is what we're
right,
going
exactly.
to do.
First of all, I know that sounds like a good theory, but if you go back and I was looking at that play, they didn't know what to do. They had no idea what to do. Because if you go back and look at the Dellavedova, he was going to take it out the first time. Then somebody else came and took it out. They had no clue. Then the refs went over there, and all the
they had to because actually the clock was wrong. So he had.
But I'm saying, Kenny,
he actually got.
You want to get the correct play, then you have to
you have to do that.
But you can't give them extra time out.
You can't give them. Yeah, you can't give them on their sideline essentially another
they
timeout.
went over there and just drew up a game-winning play.
So the only resolution I feel is when a play is being reviewed, all players have to be at midcourt.
The soundproof booth.
That's all I'm saying.
Into the soundproof booth, you all go.
No, you just have to be at midcourt. You have to be at midcourt. Now, if you're screaming from there, it's different from having the board draw it up, looking, and you're screaming and doing signals from there, of course.
What do you make of LeBron saying after the game, look, here's the play that David Blatt drew up, and I scratched it?
All great players have done that. Plays like that could either make you or break you. Kobe did it. Penny Hardaway did it. Chuck did it at the top of the key versus the Spurs.
Yeah. Every great player wants the ball. Sometimes they go make them
scratch the play when Westfall?
All the time.
No, I didn't scratch the play. He would ask me, I said, I want the ball.
But he would ask you. He didn't. It's not like
Danny Ainge gave me a great story once about Larry Bird scratching a play. He said, because we played together in Sacramento, he said Casey Jones was drawing the play up, and he says, I want the ball to go here, here, here. And he said, and Bird grabs the ball and said, listen, I don't care what happens. I need to get that ball on the left block. And then Casey Jones said, hold on, I'm the coach of this team. I'm the one who does this. And he says, well, make sure we get the ball and get Larry Bird on the left block. So he actually did what he said. But great players do it.
Oh, you know who else did it? Jimmy Chitwood said, I'll make it.
Well, let me ask you a question.
He was going to be a decoy.
Let me ask you a question about Jimmy Chitwood since you bring it up Hoosiers. How many times you think they filmed that? Jimmy Chitwood missed the first 10 shots, I heard.
Hey, how about this one? What was Jimmy Chitwood's real name? The real Jimmy Chitwood. Bobby Plump.
How about
Bobby
this? Jimmy Chitwood never really played basketball.
That's exactly right. He was an actor.
So let's move on.
I'm just saying, it's for real. That was not the right place.
What about Tyrone?
Ernie,
I need you to use that.
What about Tyrone?
Let me ask you a question. Did you broadcast
Tyrone, Ernie?
Did you broadcast Hoosiers game?
Yeah. I broadcast it in black and white, as a matter of fact.
Ernie, what about Tyrone?
What about Tyrone?
You know who Tyrone is?
I'm not going to fall for whatever you're trying to lure me into.
Fish to save Pittsburgh.
No. Hey, what about Michael? Not Jordan. Michael. He missed it. That's why you never heard of him.
Hey, we're going to be previewing what's going on Monday night.
He scratched the play and missed it. He got fired.
He didn't call bank. He called game. Bleacher Report. Outstanding website, outstanding app. You got to have it. And you know what they've got that's very cool is this Uninterrupted, where you can hear from LeBron James and Draymond Green. Who do you think we got tonight?
Draymond.
Roll it.
There's some things that we need to clean up, and we'll watch the film tomorrow, take away from some things that we can get better at and do better, and look forward to playing game 4 on Monday. Obviously, they had it out for me in there with the Bulls. I heard them pretty much every time I touched the ball, but they didn't necessarily bother me. I had a very bad shooting game, and all my shots in the first quarter that I took felt phenomenal. So if I can get those same shots, they'll fall. And I look for it. I'll continue to get those shots because of the way they're defending us. So I knocked those shots down. It's a different ball game, and they felt good. They just a couple of them were in and out.
Much thanks to Draymond Green. So you got the #1 seed in the West, the Warriors, the #1 seed in the East, the Hawks, both trailing in their series 2-1. We hit the air with the Hawks and Wizards at 7 o'clock tomorrow night. Let's get previews of those two games, starting with Lewis Johnson.
Golden State finds themselves in a near must-win situation here on the road. 5 times in the regular season, they lost 2 games in a row, but never 3. And now Steve Kerr is trying to navigate his team back to that offensive flow.
Steph has a big burden on his shoulders. He's the MVP of the league, and their defensive focus is on him. And we've got to do a better job of helping free him up, and he's got to do a better job of trusting his teammates. And as a group, we have to just play.
You know, all of a sudden they get a lead and we just want to get it back so quick, you know, as opposed to just staying within the flow of the game, you know, keeping our pace, continuing to move the ball. We all just want to get it back. And it's good intention because we all want to help each other. So I want to do this for you. You want to do this for me, and all of a sudden you're trying to do it on your own.
It's a proud group. We've had a tremendous season, and we're in a position now where we have no choice but to respond to the adversity, and we will.
After the Game 3 win in the Grindhouse, Grizzlies fans were on cloud 9, but it was a completely different story from Mike Conley and his teammates in the locker room.
Nobody was celebrating. It was just an angry feeling in the locker room, and that's what's driving us. It's just, you know, we feel like, you know, we get disrespected. We feel like, you know, we're a much better team than what people give us credit for, and that drives us.
I'm not worried about all that. We could be an underdog, upper dog, lower dog, whatever. As long as we come ready to play, it don't even matter.
Every team is disappointed when it loses a playoff game, but the Atlanta Hawks are also angry. Angry that they trail the Wizards 2-1 without John Wall in the lineup. Angry that the Wizards have pushed them around for most of this series. And angry with one another about effort.
You know, taking the loss how we did and just, you know, being outworked in a playoff game, that's what's really hard to digest. And we feel like, you know, a lot of our mistakes are things that we can control. And when you lose a game because of things that you can control, that's tough to take.
They acknowledge where they need to be better, how they need to, you know, hold themselves accountable, how they hold each other accountable. And I think, you know, it's allowed us to be a group that, you know, can look at film and improve and grow from it.
We prepared the whole series for John Wall, then he's not playing. And I think we took our foot off the gas and thought we could just show up. You can't think you're the #1 seed. You have to act like the #1 seed. And I feel like we didn't act like we was #1 seed. We haven't acted this whole series like we're #1 seed.
There was also confusion about whether DeMarre Carroll was physically able to play in the final seconds of Game 3 on Saturday.
DeMarre's our best wing defender, but considering he hadn't played the entire fourth quarter, then there's lots of things that go into making decisions.
If you had to do it over again, would you have tried to stress harder that you wanted to be on the floor?
No comment.
We went with the group that gave us our best chance to get a stop. That's the decision.
The starters weren't playing good at the moment, and they brought us all the way back, so I felt they deserved to be in at that particular time of the game.
In Washington, I'm David Aldridge.
All right, thank you. That was it was an interesting post-game stuff that you heard from DeMarre Carroll yesterday, that Budenholzer had put him back in the game for that last possession, and then he said he was physically not comfortable.
Probably was tight
going in, and so he wasn't in there because they asked him after the game, and now you hear what they say now about.
Let's be realistic. With 7 minutes, I think I saw the final score. With 7 minutes and 20 seconds to go, they were down 20.
The reserves put a 17-0 run on.
But I'm saying, like, coach probably thinking this game is over, so he got his reserves in there. They tie the game up. And that 7 minutes, you don't know how long it's taken. And do you want to put a guy who hasn't played in probably a half an hour, you want to put him back in there cold?
I'd have to look at the play-by-play, though. I think he had him in a possession or two before that, however. Well, Carroll had been back in the game. I mean, if he's your best wing defender, don't you have to have him in with the game on the line right there?
I would say if it was Tony Allen, I'd be like, okay. Or if it was Dwight Howard for a block shot or DeAndre Jordan. But DeMarre Carroll is a good player, but I don't think he's reached the status of he needs to be in the game. when key moments are there. He's playing really well for the Hawks.
He's having a great
series.
Yeah, you know,
but he hasn't reached the status of he needs to be in the game. Kobe Bryant would need to be back in the game as a wing defender.
You know, he doesn't look like a guy that's timid out there, so he must have been, like Chuck said, either tight or really hurt to say, I'm uncomfortable to be in there. I mean, I don't see.
And also, I think this
being
is a non-story. First of all, I got to take my hat off to the Hawks for coming back. But I got to give the Wizards credit for building a 20-point lead.
Without John Wall.
That was the story. And also, I got to give some love to the Hawks because I actually turned that game. I was like, because I actually went to visit my mom and turned the game off to drive to see her. And then on my way there, I said, let me see what the final score of that Wizard game was. And they were only down 3, and Muscala hit the 3. I said, "Oh my God!" Listen, this shouldn't be a none. Take your hat off to the Wizards for winning that game,
and Paul Pierce for the bank shot.
Yeah. Which number 1 seed is in more trouble right now? The Hawks or the Golden State Warriors?
Golden State Warriors.
Ooh.
Because Chuck's been saying this all year. Me and Kenny really didn't believe him. Yes, they can be beat up on the inside, but when you have exceptional shooters that can pull you out of any situation, and we've seen them do it time in and time out. In the New Orleans series when they was down, Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, they hit unbelievable shots. But right now, they're getting beat up inside, and their shots are not falling, and it seems to me they're facing a little adversity, something we haven't seen all year. So anxious to see how they're going to react to that. And, Steve Kerr made a great comment. The moment of truth for our team is up now. So, this game is a must-win game.
Those Splash Brothers combined in that New Orleans series, they combined for 59 points a game. It's 38 against Memphis.
I'm sure of 2 things. Marc Gasol and Zach Randolph going to be on the block tomorrow night. That's a constant. On the other end, I got 2 of the best shooters in the world. Can they make enough shots? I know Zach and Mark gonna get it every night. They're the best center power forward combination in the NBA. They're both terrific. Mark's a great passer. They can't match up with him or Zach. It's just a matter if the Splash Brothers can make enough jump shots. And I always tell you, I'm going with layups over jump shots all the time. No disrespect to anybody.
Well, Mike Conley obviously has made the
great.
biggest
He's terrific
in the series when he's on the floor. But if I say who's in the most trouble, I would say Atlanta Hawks, only because there's a guy named John Wall that might show up. And if he shows up, then it even gets worse. It doesn't get better. Where you could say our shot can come, and we might get the game at a pace where our guys get comfortable shooting the basketball. And Klay Thompson just has to play better, honestly, as well, because he has to be the all-star, because he has the best defender on him most of the night, and that's Tony Allen. And he has to have an advantage against him to loosen up things for Steph Curry, which is vice versa.
Let me say this one thing about the Golden State. They're the best backcourt in the NBA, but they got that guy he just mentioned guarding Klay Thompson. But on the other one, they got Mike Conley, who's the most underrated player in the NBA. So they got their hands full, too. So it ain't like they're out there playing against the Washington Generals. They playing against a great defender. And I told you, what's the one thing? What team need to have? You got to have a great player. They got a bunch of great players, and they got to have a crazy guy.
Don't you play for the Generals?
Tony Allen, Tony Allen can play with me anytime.
And Upper Dog is telling us that John Wall probably not playing in Game 4.
One more rest.
All right. Coming back with more in just a second. You're watching Inside, presented by Kia. You love Inside the NBA? We hope so. Then make sure you're following NBA on TNT on social. So the Rockets going home, down 3-1. Game 5 is Tuesday in Houston. Here's what the Rockets were saying after tonight.
What was the strategy behind starting the hack of DJ so early?
We got Dwight in foul trouble, got in foul trouble right away. And, kind of without our big guy, we were trying to, just trying to see if we could muck up the game a little bit. And, we came back and we kind of had to play small. So we just thought maybe we could get them out of their rhythm a little bit.
Kevin, you mentioned the lack of poise in the third quarter last game. Did you guys quit in the third quarter of this game?
I mean, we missed layups and they came out and ran on us. And I mean, we did not finish well around the rim. And when you hold your head and you hang your head, I mean, and you don't get back, they made you pay.
What are your thoughts on the hack of whomever as a basketball strategy?
I mean, personally, I don't like it, but I guess different coaches have their different philosophies on on the game. So
the defense and offensive chemistry of you guys, have they that much disrupted you to where you guys are out of flow?
yeah, we're not really moving. We're not really moving on the offensive end. We're pretty much stagnant, and so it makes it easier for them to kind of load up and kind of they play their normal defense. They're like I said, they're a really good defensive team, and they're not going to change. So we got to just move and cover each other and create open shots.
It's frustrating. I get emotional when I'm playing in the playoffs, and I want to win so bad that it's frustrating at times. But I just got to try my best to keep my cool.
Did that frustration sort of take over in that third quarter where they scored virtually every time they had the ball? Did it keep you guys from doing what you're supposed to do?
No.
Can you talk about the battle with Blake, the physical, what was going on? Back and forth, you guys are having a pretty tough show out there, I think. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Dwight, can you talk about the urgency of going back home and getting a win?
We got to win the next one. If we don't, we'll be on vacation. So we got to get our minds right and protect our home.
And only 8 teams have come back from being down 3-1. As the president of the NBA Mothers Association, Lucille O'Neill organizes an NBA Moms versus NFL Moms charity basketball game every year. And this year, this guy was right there alongside for all the fun. And if you happen to pick up on her mannerisms, you might just see where Shaq gets his sense of humor and his fun.
Excuse me.
What was that?
That's why it's called practice, ladies. That's why it's called practice. Good defense, Caroline. Good defense, girl.
My mom is the president of the NBA Mothers Association. It's a great thing that she can bring all the women down to the Shaq Center to have a great time.
I'm 60, sexy, single, and saved.
I'm here with a group of the mothers of professional basketball players, and we're getting ready to get geared up for a basketball game against the mothers of the professional football players.
We as mothers, we wanted to show everyone that there's more to us than just being these guys, moms, that we need to get in our communities and give back. So we asked the football moms if they would join us in helping us, for our cause.
This is the third year doing it. The NBA moms won the basketball match, and I think the NFL moms won the football match, so it's going to be a revenge game.
We needed a place to practice, so Shaquille was gracious enough to allow us to come into his gym for a couple of hours.
I love you, right?
Yeah, what?
I love all the NBA moms.
Yeah.
If y'all mess up, for sure you're going to be all right.
Oh, my goodness.
That's right. Shaq in the food, baby.
Whose house is this?
We're very competitive, but we expect for it to be physical. But we want to win because we feel like it's our game, and we refuse to lose on our court.
Good job. Mothers of professional basketball players against the mothers of professional football players. Now, who you think's gonna win?
First up, the mother of Ray Allen, Flo, he get it from his mama Allen. Give it up for the NBA moms. All right, let's begin.
Stay on her, baby. Stay on her. That's all right. Get up on her. Ladies and gentlemen,
Shaquille O'Neal.
we love you.
Excellent stuff from Shaq.
That was
Mike
actually pretty good.
Goldfarb, our producer. And the event raised more than $15,000 for the United Negro College Fund. Big fun there, Shaq.
Yeah, it was fun. All the moms showed up. Happy Mother's Day to the NFL moms also. You know, we're like a big family. You know, Charles' mom and my mom were, you know, great best friends. You know, they spent a lot of time together. So, you know, it was a fun thing to have all those moms on there. Trey Burke's mom was there. Andre Iguodala's mom.
Yeah. Mark Jackson's mom was there.
Mark Jackson's mom was there. And it was just
We
a
used
fun
to
time.
argue with my mom all the time when we were in high school.
Yeah, it's a fun
You know,
time.
I was thinking about Mark Jackson's mom the other day because I got fined for, you know, who got fined in the NBA for cursing somebody's mom out?
You did it to her. She told me to tell you that. I saw her last week.
What?
I saw
You
her a
cursed
week
that
ago.
man's mom out,
I didn't know it was his mama.
She didn't know. He did not know.
I did not know. I did not know.
I got you, Mama Jackson. Come here, man.
Because Mark Jackson.
Mama Jackson, I got you. Come here, man.
Mark
Two
Jackson
licks.
came in the locker room. He said, "Hey, man, I need to talk to you." He says, "You cussed my mama." I said, "Dude, I ain't never met your mom before." He says, "The lady in the stand." I said, "Ooh, that's your mama."
But no, in fairness, Miss Jackson is one of the all-time greatest trash talkers of all time.
Well, the apple didn't fall from the tree.
No question. She is, because when we were in high school, she would be on one side, my mom on the other, and screaming her lungs out. Wow. Yeah, she is a trash talker.
Good
Love her to death.
I love her to death.
Love you to death, Miss Jackson.
Happy Mother's Day.
When Anime Smith was going to come after you, too, one day.
I'm going to whoop him for you in the back, Mama Jackson.
When we come back, getting to the bottom of the fall felt around the world. You want answers? We've got
I don't think you can handle it.
answers.
You set me up, Ernie. That's the answer. I already know.
No.
Set me up.
We've got the answers coming.
I'll get them
up
for
next.
you, Mama Jackson.
It's time for
EJ's Meatloaf Saturday Night.
presented by NBA.com.
Right.
Hey, how about that NBA.com? Hey,
You can't have sponsors.
Come on, you can't use your own sponsors.
So we have
Been sullied.
we have this situation last week, and before we show you what happened last week, let's set the stage, because there were times, Shaq.
You set me up.
I did not set you up.
Yes, you
Can I get this part out?
Yeah, go ahead.
There have been times where you have planned things that you want
never planned
want to look like, it just happened. How about the time you stepped in the trash can on purpose?
I did
right
not.
here.
You put it there.
No, you. Oh,
You put it
how
there.
did that happen? No, that
put
was
it there.
that was strictly acting.
No, it was not.
Yeah, that
Not
was
a setup. You put it there.
No.
America, Ernie put it there.
So then the other night.
I'm not even looking at the trash can, see?
Yes.
That might have been real, too.
No. So the other night, we had nothing to do with this. You get tangled up in a cord here as you're going to race Kenny back to the back.
You, look, your feet right there. You're moving the cord. Yeah, let me see your
No.
feet. You're moving the cords right there with your feet, and you wrapped around my leg. Yeah.
Get out of here, dude.
Yeah.
And so this is what happened the other night.
Get him, Kenny.
No.
It's funny every time I see it.
Rips the monitor out of the set.
Focus, look. You see
Man.
the focus?
Sure.
It gets funnier every time.
And you broke the internet with that thing. So
set me up, Ernest.
So we're thinking, okay, this just happened, and then we get the security footage from earlier. Chico Robinson.
What security footage?
Digs up the security footage from before that halftime, and what do we discover? Look at Kenny. Kenny around the set.
Oh.
Man, no, that is not me.
Yeah, okay.
That is not me, man. If you look at the top of the head of that is not me. That is not me.
Oh, okay, Kenny.
That is not me,
That
man.
tells us a lot. Okay,
Does that look like me?
So maybe it
That
wasn't.
doesn't look. Let's see the guys walk. If the walk, you can see
Yeah,
that.
that's you.
Yeah, let me see the walk.
No, let's see the walk. Nope,
Yeah,
that ain't
that's
me.
you.
That ain't me. That ain't my walk.
That is not my walk.
Okay.
That's the top of somebody else's head.
And that's not the only thing. Then there was another security camera at another part of the building that caught you as well.
What happened?
Look at this. So this is Kenny, and he's got this big turkey suit that Shaq is going to wear in the lip sync contest. And what's he doing? Cutting the elastic out of the waistband.
No, that wasn't me, man. That don't even look like me.
Cutting the
That don't even look like me.
Elastic out.
That guy dropped the scissors.
Scissors.
Come on, man. That's not me. That is not
and
me.
what happens after that?
That is not me, man. That is not me. Honestly, I'm surprised that it happened. I'm surprised, man. That is not me.
Oh, my goodness.
I don't even know what y'all talking about.
I apologize, Ernie.
You inherited a Hulk, got you. You know, America did have a question I want to answer to. What they keep a big 7-foot chicken suit
I
at?
want to know that too, man.
I got it at my house, baby.
He got it at his house.
Well, you're not one of those Furbies things, are you?
What's that? I don't know what that is.
Let it go, man.
What's
Time
a
to
Furby?
go over here.
What's a Furby? I don't know what a Furby is.
Oh. See, that's more realistic of what
What's a
happened.
Furby? We'll tell you. We got to go look it up on the internet.
Yeah, man.
On the internet. All right. That is a wrap for Inside the NBA, presented by Kia. For Shaq, for Kenny, for Charles, this is Ernie Johnson. We will be back tomorrow night with a dynamite doubleheader
That ain't me, Shaq.
here on T.
That guy don't even look like me. I'm different.
There's people who dress up like animals. And
Furby.
yeah. They dress up like furry animals.
Furby.
Wait, is it furries or Furby?
I have no idea.
Together. So it's just the confidence that we have, when any one of us is out of the lineup, or even when we practice and one of us